make sure you're in the Discord, because usually I ask once a week for a recommendation of what I should do for lore. This week is week 4 of Monster Month. And I am bringing to you the Lobotomites from Fallout New Vegas' DLC Old World Blues. Now, the Lobotomites are surgically altered humans found inside of Big Mountain, the Big Empty. They are the results of various medical experiments. Most of them found themselves stumbling into the Big Empty, Big Mountain, from the Mojave, and the drones that patrol would grab them and take them down to the Sinks auto dock, and it would lobotomize them, making them Lobotomites, as we know. Now, this was done to keep them inside, because the only way out of the radar fence is to have a functioning body and mind. So a lobotomy would make them no longer have a functioning mind. You know, like what the Kennedys did to that daughter of theirs. There was Tesla coils that were placed where the piece of their brain was removed or scrambled or what have you. There was Tesla coils put in there, and originally it is supposed to give you the ability that the courier has, where you can kind of walk amongst the living and be a functioning member of society and venture forth. And it was supposed to give you a better cognition. It was supposed to make you a better human in some sense, but also lobotomize you. But the Sinks autodock would actually just destroy the subject's brain to the point of them being nothing but husks of humans, just flesh sacks, comprised of flesh and meat and bone and eyes and sinew. It would destroy the brain, and the only reason why the courier's brain was not destroyed is because of the scar tissue from the bullets that Doc Mitchell pulls out of your brain. It almost reprograms the autodocs, the Sinks autodoc, to the point where it just lobotomizes you and puts the coil in you, and you can function as normal. It doesn't kill you. It doesn't make you just a Neanderthal. Because of them being these almost sacks of protoplasm, lobotomites can use doors, walk, fight, use rudimentary weapons, gurgle, spit, wave, and say maybe two-syllable words if they're lucky. I'll get into a little more of that later. They have a base called the Cuckoo's Nest, which is just a great name. They have this nest there, and they kind of have been observed to just collect things, just stuff and things, or just kind of strewn about. Most likely, the Cuckoo's Nest is behind me, and in front of me is probably a lobotomite or two. They are always hostile. It's not observed of them attacking each other, but they attack you on sight. They have almost no armor, but because of the modifications made to them, they are almost more resilient to attacks. The few words that they can actually muster to get out of them, other than grunts and type shit, is die, stop you, and never, which I believe is the only two-syllable word that they can say. Dr. Dala refers to them as skinvelopes, which is just a 10 out of... Like, I hope whoever came up with the term skinvelope got a raise. That's just a... You are just skin that holds things inside of it. She observed that 43% of the time they will fight for dominance if left together or inject bodily fluids into one another, which makes me question, are they fighting or are they loving? If you know what I'm saying. The think tank uses them as pigs for experiments. Inside of the X8 research facility, the courier can splice them together with dogs and robots, just to further prove how much of pigs they really are. They have tattered hoods, respirators, these headphones, and these giant goggles. That's kind of just the background of what and who the Lobotomites are. But I get all of my lore off of fallout.fandom.com, the Fallout Wiki, if you will. I get all of my lore off of the Fallout Wiki, like I said. There's a few things I want to read verbatim to make sure I'm doing the due diligence and the justice that the Lobotomites hold. Need. Require, even. Lobotomites wear lobotomized jumpsuits or patient gowns, which are very little protection against most damage. Lobotomites are armed with either a firearm or a melee weapon. They can carry more weapons at higher levels, and pose a credible threat even to high-level players. Usually they attack in groups, but every now and again a Night Stalker can be found with them, which begs the question, do they have enough sentience to tame? Can they domesticate the wild? Just some quick notes for you. Lobotomites have black skin around their eyes, including their eyelids. If they die with their eyes shut, this can appear as though their eyes have been gouged out. They also have a unique lobotomized scar on their face. Lobotomites will spawn in great numbers at pre-designated locations after the completion of Old World Blues. The Lobotomites make the same sound as Fallout New Vegas ghouls and a Trog from Fallout 3. Some Lobotomites equipped with melee weapons are completely silent. What is more scary than someone with the rage and strength of someone who can't form a proper sentence, but is also just with a sledgehammer? Fun. Even at the end of the game, to Dr. Klein, the courier is still referred to as a lobotomite when you have your brain returned to you. The only game where you can speak to your brain. Now, some behind the scenes, on screen somewhere, there should be a picture of lobotomites from Leonard Boyarsky from the original Fallout, from the 90s. Lobotomites appear in Fallout New Vegas' add-on Old World Blues. They also appear in the loading screen from Fallout, and they were planned to appear in Fallout 2, but they were in a cut encounter. Like I said, lobotomites were to appear in Fallout 2, but they were cut early on and appeared only in a Fallout loading screen. At one point in the game, the Chosen One was supposed to be ambushed by a group of these monsters, wherein Renegade Brotherhood soldiers come to the aid. A quote from Leonard Boyarsky on the forum, "No mutants allowed." Interesting story. Behind this image, Jason and I had originally done a first draft of the story of Fallout 2, and at one point the player was to be ambushed by lobotomized creatures, or lobotomites, where a Renegade Brotherhood soldier comes to his rescue. Get it? It's Fallout Tales number 2, and it's illustration of the scene from Fallout 2, of course. The story was changed after Fallout 1's release, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. Now, the real-life usage of a lobotomy involves crudely cutting the connections between the frontal lobe and the brain, the frontal lobe of the brain and the rest. Though very rarely used today, it was commonly used in the 1940s to the 50s to treat serious mental issues that otherwise require institution. Its effects often left the subject with debilitating mental defects when not in a permanent catatonic stage. Like I said, the Kennedys did this to their daughter. It's a fact. They put her in the basement. So the day my great-grandmother died, she would see the Kennedys on television go, they kept one of them in the basement every time, or they did something with her. She was there and then she wasn't. She was 23. She was about 80. In a home, surrounded by people she didn't know and people who didn't love her because her family lobotomized her. And that, my friends, is Monster Month, week number 4 of 2022, and that is lore. Hey, hi, it's Vince. I hope you enjoyed that video you just watched. If you'd like to support in any sort of way, in the description below there's links to my Twitter, the show's Twitter, and the Patreon. You could support at any level, and you could be on screen like some of the names are currently. I hope to see you soon. Thank you for watching, and if you get a chance, check out another one of my videos. I'd really appreciate it. Share it with a friend. Cool. I'll see you guys later. Be safe. I love you. Bye.